What the parent does.
Yes.
So trending this morning, there's this bipartisan group of local lawmakers. They're working to stop kids' addiction to social media. Iredell and Mecklenburg County representatives have introduced a bill to regulate how social media companies can handle children's accounts. So here's what's being proposed. Lawmakers want companies like Facebook and Instagram to stop basing advertisements on users' internet searches. They're also asking for a better age verification system so that kids only see age-appropriate content. Ultimately, it would help limit the power of major companies to use the data of children. In response, Facebook's parent company Meta says they are already taking steps to protect teens on Facebook. So this morning, we want to know, should social media companies do more to protect our kids online? Comment below. We already received several comments from parents this morning. I think, of course, everybody's saying yes. The social media world can sometimes feel like the wild, wild west out there. Oh, my goodness, this is such tiny font. Here, I'm going to read it over here from the board. So one person saying it's not the social media's responsibility to protect children on social media. Why do they have accounts anyway? Parents need to do their job and regulate what their kids are allowed to do. Stop blaming everyone else and do a better job as a parent.
I think it really starts with parents. You know, we're putting all this off on these companies. Parents, it starts with them, like parents, like kids. So, yeah, they're a little more discipline in that area.
Another person saying it is parents' responsibility to regulate children's social media access, not the companies. What's next? Having Hershey regulate kids' candy intake. That's funny. Next person saying first it's AOL messaging, then MySpace, then Facebook, Instagram, then TikTok, then Snapchat. What's next? This world is moving faster than we can keep up with. The web is bigger than anyone will ever be able to comprehend. I think the parents should have to put their information in with their children before they can get on any of this. I wasn't even allowed on a computer in my room until 16. Another person saying, I'm scared to death for my son about this virtual social media world we know nothing about. All these apps use your location. I am 31 years old and just learned about location.
Can I read the next
services.
one?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a mixture of both. I mean, if you're going to have the internet in your house, it's like you don't want your kids somehow scrolling onto a pornography website. You know what I mean? You've got to put in parental controls on your computer. I totally agree with the thing. Like, we do not let the kids look at iPads in their rooms, but they don't have, like, I have the internet turned off. They only have access to, like, like certain TV shows on Netflix or whatever. And I love that Netflix, you're allowed to block shows that maybe you don't approve of and you don't want your kids to watch. So even in the child setting, I have found as a parent,
well, see, you're an active parent. I think every parent, it's your responsibility first. You know, don't just give that to the kids and, hey, entertain yourself.
But I still would appreciate these companies making sure, like, certain advertisements or videos aren't going to a child based off their age. But again, parents are going to differ. Parents are going to differ on, well, it's like these legislators said, based off their internet search, that's what they're going to start advertising. So, like, if a child is searching how to lose weight, for example, then those videos and advertisements are going to start popping up on their
how do they know social
media.
That's what I'd like to know.
Based off your account, say that, and I think that's what one of the parents on here said, like, you create, if you want to create an account for your child, you monitor it, you have access to it. But some people will say, here, my 13 or 14-year-old, I don't know how old you're supposed to be on Facebook, but, like, they let them create their own account, they have their own phone, and then the parents never looking at, what are they looking at? Who are they messaging? I mean, we could go all the way into child predators getting into some of their messaging.
I was going to bring that up. There was a really interesting study, is that this group created a fake 13-year-old girl, and it was really scary. They worked on really making her persona, building it up, and just with the doctoring, they made the girl look like she was 13, and it was within minutes. predators actually started messaging this girl.
Wow.
So it just really just shows about how scary of a world it is that these things have to be monitored. And if there was some way that there was like Insta Kids, but the problem is it opens you up to real life, and real life has those scary elements. So it's one of those things that's kind of running rampant. Like, how much can you really do to monitor it? Like, as a parent, you can only go so far. You can do regulations because as they get older and older.
Once you get to a teenage years, they're going to take control.
Exactly.
They know how to figure around it.
Well, they know more than you do, and that's why.
I was saying that some kids know much more about computers than their parents.
Yeah.
So they control exactly what they want to see.
I think Fred was telling me they have something on all their devices, all their TVs, their iPads, their phones. And he can view it from his phone. I need to ask him what it is because I should download it. But you can see what your kids are looking at, and you can view it all from the parent's main device.
But once again, those are little kids. Once they're teenagers, boom, they get around it.
And I know that your oldest isn't anywhere close to the teen years, but is she aware of social media?
Yeah. So she's in dance, and some of her like dance friends will have like an Instagram account created by a mom, and they're private, and it's just to post like pictures for family and friends.
Yeah.
So they have access to it. So I don't let her scroll at all, but sometimes she'll go, "Oh, can I see a video of my friend at her dance competition?" And I'll pull it up and show her. So sometimes she's aware of it, but sometimes she'll she'll say, "Instagram what?" She doesn't really, like, I would never let her just scroll even my Instagram. Like,
well, and I think what's really interesting is these kids, and I only have a very small sample size. JT is not even 10 months.
Yeah.
But just the fascination with the phone. I think it's amazing is, of course, the remote control. Why not? Because you can put up Miss Rachel.
Well, like you said, they grow up with it in their hands, so it's just inherent.
I still remember.
It's almost part of who you are.
Exactly.
As you grow up to that.
Yeah, and just even at that age, like, he's just gravitated towards it, and that's why we're trying to just like, okay, maybe we need to put these down.
And you will notice too, and I noticed this with Blair, and I was so blown away. She would be looking at an iPad or a TV, and she would be like touching it and going because they're so, and you're like,
they see their parents.
But TVs, I mean, I guess some TVs are touchscreen, but ours were not. But because that's what they're used to with iPads or phones, they think everything's, and they can.
Have you tried to do that with a picture before? Have you ever tried to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a book. I can't do it.
Well, it's funny, even at JT, because they will take our phones and do some of this. By the way, the other day he had it and just bashed me in the face, so I have to be careful with it.
With what?
He had my phone, and all of a sudden he just looked at me and went boom, and I was like, okay, buddy. But we had the baby monitor, and we let him hold it, and then he started going like this.
Yeah.
Just because already at that age, it's insane.
But what scares me too, which, I agree, like, parents have to be involved and everything, but going to your point of kids get smarter than you and you don't know what you're doing, and these companies do need to have regulations in place to some extent, because now we're doing stories on like the metaverse. So I feel like kids are going to be in this virtual world. That's like the next level.
And AI, but then you get into AI. And
we're going to be like, what are you looking at? Who are you talking to?
Who wrote that term paper right there? Did you write it? Or?
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that story we did yesterday was interesting.
What's crazy, we were talking about that AI stuff, and I think I sent it to our producers. I started getting ads on my Instagram. Download this AI Chat GPT app, and it was like, have to finish your term paper, and it was like, finish it in 5 minutes, term paper due tomorrow. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
The data mining is crazy. When this was years ago when I was proposing to Kim. Of course, I was ring shopping, and I had to almost hide my phone from her because I'd be on Facebook and ring ads would be popping up. It's like, obviously whatever you're searching.
Yeah.
So it is crazy how much it can do that. And we were bringing up AI. Think about, like, we were barely talking about this a couple of years ago. And
a year ago.
A year ago. And I remember when Facebook and Instagram, was like, nothing's going to beat Instagram and Facebook. Then TikTok came out. That one comment we said, what's next? There'll be a new app in 5 years ago that we didn't think could come.
You know what? In reality, it's overwhelming. It's too much. It's mind-boggling, and it's confusing. and I'm not sure it's going to get easier.
No, only harder.
Yeah.
And I just think for kids, like, get outside and play. You don't want their face buried in a phone or an iPad or in the metaverse or whatever. But anyway, I'm sure they would disagree.
Hey, perfect day to do just that.
Yeah.
Let's go outside and play.
All right. Well, keep chiming in below, and we'll see you back here on air at 11:30. Bye, everybody.